Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. All right, well, we're here for another late night stream. We'll put it that way. Anyway, the real reason I wasn't going to stream today, but I already made some tea, so I feel like I have to drink this. But while I'm drinking this, we will just be enjoying the wonders of the internet together. Okay? I'm in my comfortable sweater. Got tea. We got some Slay the Spire action going on in the background, so we can get to that in a bit. And also, we have an anti-Hasan title. So we'll see, we'll see. How should we start this off? What should we start off with? What I want to start off with is I want to start off with this. I want to start off with David Pakman. Okay, so he's interviewing Cory Booker. David Pakman famously belongs in the anti-Palestine, pro-Israel section of liberals that blame leftists for Kamala Harris losing the election. They see the issue of Palestine as a massive reason of why Kamala Harris lost the election in 2024 to Donald Trump. Like David Pakman is, he talks about how he wants a big tent, but it's the leftists that are in favor of Palestine. They're the ones that are making the tent too small. So, as he's advocating for not gatekeeping, he's gatekeeping his movement. So we're going to listen to what he has to say about Cory Booker, and then we're going to get into Hasan's take on this conversation that David Pakman had with Cory Booker's a senator? Anyway, let's go.
Officials, would you go on Hasan Piker's stream? Now, I want to kind of just make clear.
This is so funny. This is like the liberal version of what the liberals were asking about Zohar Mamdani in the election. He's like, would you go to Israel? And then the liberals are now saying, oh, would you go onto Hasan Piker's stream? Like that's the litmus test now. Are you liberal enough, or are you going into those dirty pro-Palestinian leftists?
And I don't really get along. He recently alleged that I have an AIPAC handler, something that he said without evidence, which actually really affected my show. I think the only reason he said that is I'm Jewish. I've never had an AIPAC handler or taken $1.
So David Pakman says that Hasan has said that David Pakman has an AIPAC handler, which is not true. Hasan's never said that. And then he says that I've lost views on my show because Hasan Piker said I have an AIPAC handler, right? Which is hilarious. It's not because of the actions that you've taken. It's not because of the pro-Israel and anti-Palestine stances that you've taken on your show that have destroyed your credibility. It's none of this like chorus money, dark money being revealed that is possibly influencing the things you're talking about. But it's because Hasan said you have an AIPAC handler, right? And then not only does he blame Hasan for this, which I just think is cute, I think it's downright cute, but that he says that, oh, Hasan only says this because I'm Jewish and he's anti-Semitic, right? Which is insane. It's an insane thing to say. Like, you're Jewish. The only videos you've put out about the issue of Palestine is to blame the Palestinians for their own death, and to criticize people that are pro-Palestine and anti-Israel.
From AIPAC or anything like that. But I recognize that he has a huge audience that is further to the left of where you are. And that.
All right, while this plays, we're going to fire up some STS2. Bro, my computer does not like me streaming, watching a video, and gaming at the same time. What is going on? I'm going to
All
work.
cloth.
Let's see. Come on, play the video, Reddit. I know the Reddit video player is not the best thing in the world, but should be able to. Like, oh, come on! What is going on? I gotta refresh this. All right, we'll just man, come on, refresh, play. We're going to have to go to his YouTube channel.
I want to ask about reaching further to the left. It's
Yeah.
become very popular to ask elected officials, would you go on Hasan Piker's stream? Now, I want to kind of just make clear, Hasan and I don't really get along. He recently alleged that I have an APAC handler, something that he said without evidence.
Recently alleged this, by the way.
Which actually really affected my show. I think the only reason he said that is I'm Jewish. I've never had an APAC handler or taken $1 from APAC or anything like that. But I recognize that he has a huge audience that is further.
And the only reason that Hasan said that is because he's Jewish, implying that he's anti-Semitic, right? Also implying that David Pakman has no pro-Israel stances in the past. And, like, dude, it's so fucking obvious. Also, just the fact that he's crying about people not watching his channel is so fucking funny to me. He's like, bro, you've been pro-Israel since October 7th. I mean, since before October 7th, 2023. But, like, ever since then, you've been really pro-Israel. And now you're complaining that when people, like, call you out for that shit. Remember when he came out and he's like, I don't even know how to pronounce APAC. Is it APAC? Is it IPAC? I don't know. And then he's also like, you know, he was involved in that whole chorus scandal, where like pro-Israel, basically like a pro-Israel lobbying group for the Democrats, paying social media influencers to create content for them. And then you wonder why there are so many liberals against Hasan.
The left of where you are and where I am. Reaching to the middle, I understand. Is there value in trying to reach that young, further to the left, anti-capitalist audience that he has built for better or worse?
A leader should reach out to everyone. I sit down with people in New Jersey from all across the political and ideological spectrum, especially looking to sit down with people that I don't agree with. They've made me a better senator. They've made me a better leader. They've made me a better public servant. So I appreciate the way you approach this question, because I remember getting ticked off when I was running for president, and we actually banded together and all said, enough of these, like, raise your hand if you believe da-da-da-da-da, which was just lightning bolt questions with no nuance and no discussion. I am seeing the crisis we're in, because again, in this.
So this is just like a very standard politician response, right? Would you reach out to this person? And then he like lists out a few things that he has personal grudges against Hasan for, and Cory Booker just ignores it all, and he's like, "I think we should reach out to everyone," and then he goes into essentially what is preaching. He just starts preaching about, and I'm a politician, and I got sick of no nuance in things.
Central Ward of Newark, New Jersey, there is so much frustration with politics as usual. We need a revolution like we had in the time of the New Deal, a revolution like we had in the time of LBJ in the 1960s. Every time we have a generational movement. And this is a time where enough of the baby boomer generation that has given us so much, but I don't think we should have, this should be the last baby boomer head of the Senate, the last baby boomer president. A new generation is rising in America that needs to have a powerful, revolutionary set of ideals to redeem the American dream. That's what I'm fighting for.
And what are these ideals? Like, okay, I'm curious to see, like, someone clip this out. I'm curious to see if this clip goes back around to Hasan, or if it just devolves into standard Democratic establishment drivel.
It behooves me to listen to people that I disagree with, because they can make me better, can make my arguments sharper, or, as I've seen in my 25 years in politics, actually help me evolve as a leader to have better ideas.
So on the specifics of getting in front of that Hasan audience.
David Pakman's the one that brings it back to Hasan.
Valuable, not so much?
I think if you are saying, and I've said this to my team, you remember, I went in and took a job this year to help my caucus, who the average age is, I think it used to be 70 something, in the Senate as a whole, to say we're doing a terrible job communicating to young people. In fact, I think that one of the reasons why Donald Trump won is because he was getting on discourse.
And then this is what you'll notice, this is what Democrats are really starting to do more often. Essentially what they're doing is, instead of saying that Hasan represents a genuine interest and specific ideas and a direction that the party is moving, what they're saying is that, oh, his audience is young people, and so when people reach out to his audience, they're tapping into young people. This was done when Hasan was campaigning with Zoran. This was done when Hasan is campaigning with Ahmed. What's his name? Ahmed Al Sayed. Like, they're really unwilling to acknowledge that Hasan actually represents an interest for some of the Democratic base, and rather that he's just like an open access to a demographic. It's just young people, right? Because if you divorce the ideology of Hasan and his community, then you're not beholden to that ideology. It's essentially the political equivalent to just pulling the wool over your eyes, like hiding underneath a blanket and pretending like the monster that is pro-Palestine and anti-Israel, anti-establishment sentiment doesn't really exist. And then you can carry on being like, well, those are just young people, but I'm still going to take APAC money.
And Twitch and mixed martial arts podcasts and platforms.
Yep, he's drawing comparisons between Hasan to MMA podcasts. Right. Like, they are so demeaning to any kind of genuine resistance against Israel. Then they're just like, well, this is just like an alternative audience. It's not an alternative audience. Hasan's anti-Israel ideology represents the vast majority of Democrats right now. And it's politicians like Cory Booker who are, they're just too cowardly to acknowledge it. It really just boils down to cowardice.
Talking to young men, and we weren't even, our presidential team was not even on those platforms at all. They had a complete echo chamber with just their views. I got my team to get more on TikTok when other people did not realize that younger voters, that's how they get most of their news. And I've watched my caucus, because I can measure this all, more than 7x if you get out of Twitter, 4x with Twitter, the amount of engagement they have. I've seen how their engagement with younger voters has increased. I've seen them go on you and I both know, in the creator economy, there are thousands of people that talk to young voters, and I've seen my colleagues get on more and more of those shows. So absolutely, yes, we have especially had a communications problem that for the 43 of us, I'm trying to push my team to go more and more to talk to younger voters who we need, not just to hear our message, but we need to be inspiring them to get.
Right. They're treating it like it's a communication issue rather than an acknowledgement of the genuine desire of the Democratic voters to see a real systemic change, not only in the way that the Democratic Party treats Israel, but also to the way that they interact with capital and the social welfare system in general. Also, just human rights. Like, you can't be in favor of human rights, like the right to abortion, the right to be treated humanely as an undocumented or documented immigrant, if you're not going to be pro-Palestine. Like, if you're unwilling to acknowledge the atrocities that Israel carries out on a daily basis, then what hope do people have in you to call out conservative hate crimes against transgender people, or the pogroms that ICE is carrying out in immigrant communities?
On the field and begin to lead the Democratic Party in the United States of America from cynicism to activism so that we can have a better nation.
So maybe on the Hasan stream, I'm hearing.
He literally said over and over again that he would go and talk to everyone. Like, does David Pakman just want him to say, like, oh yeah, do you have his contact information? I'll call him and set up an interview.
On stream, I'm hearing.
No,
Yeah. Like, I was actually fed up with David Pakman at the end of this interview. Anyway, how's everyone doing? So anyway, that's the clip, right? That's the clip that was going around of David Pakman talking to Cory Booker. And this is what okay, so we're gonna let Hasan's reaction to this play out, and then we'll talk about it. Because look, like this is very benign. At the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal the way that Hasan treats David Pakman. However, I do think that he is just incorrect in this segment. But we'll let it play.
Hasan and I don't really get along. He recently alleged that I have an APAC handler, something that he said without evidence, which actually really affected my show. I think the only reason he said...
No, I've jokingly referred to David Pakman as David A. Pakman, but did I say he has an APAC handler? I don't remember. I don't think I did. I've also always been pretty cordial about David Pakman, contrary to what my community says. I guess like people also were yelling, I'll defend David on the Chorus Wired article, but pretending to not know APAC's a bad look. Like, does he think we're dumb enough to not know he knows what APAC, to not know that he knows what APAC is? It is one of the most well-known, powerful lobbying groups in the U.S. and has been talked about plenty in the last decade. To pretend that he doesn't know what APAC pretending it could be pronounced IPAC is just insulting to anyone who follows this channel. All these years we defend this dude against APAC affiliation accusations and he insults us by pretending not to know how to pronounce it. Like, I don't think David Pakman is like funded by APAC, for the record. I've never stated that. I don't think that is the case. But obviously, like, this is an area where he is heavily biased, right? Yeah, I'm always so nice. I think this is probably a situation where Pakman is attributing your community's words to you. I'm always so nice about David.
Yeah, obviously you didn't say that David Pakman has an APAC handler. Remember when Ethan Klein got all pissy because Hasan, like, I don't even remember what it was. Like, Hasan insinuated that he was like collaborating with the ADL to get him banned off, to get people banned off of Twitch, and then Ethan's like, "Oh, I got all of these people banned off of Twitch," and the ADL was like, "Yeah, we got them banned off of Twitch." And so after Ethan Klein acknowledged that he essentially worked with the ADL, he's like, "It's anti-Semitic of you to say that I work with the ADL." That was hilarious. What were we talking about again? We were talking about how Hasan didn't say that David Pakman has an APAC handler. But David Pakman says that, he just makes it up and then he's like, but Hasan's anti-Semitic for saying that.
Because he's always been like somewhat cordial with me in spite of a very obvious, like glaringly obvious differences in opinion. So I don't know why he's like attributing a loss of revenue to me. Trying to say that like I defamed him in a way that like actually impacted his finances. Very strange. Yeah, my community is not nice, and I yell at my community all the time, but there's obviously so much that I can personally do if you are in defense of Israel, or at least like awfully quiet about the atrocities of Israel. Then yeah, people are going to make up their own minds, right? Israel is an area where he is heavily biased. That bias both stems from his own personal opinions about this thing.
It's just so funny, right? Like, I don't know. People like David Pakman, Ethan Klein, they complain Destiny to an extent. They complain about Hasan souring their audience towards them, but it's just like, bro, like everyone is at the end of the day an individual person. Sure, maybe Hasan signal boosted some of the worst aspects of your content. But at the end of the day, everyone that was watching your show that is now no longer watching your show made that decision themselves. Is it like, do you think these people have like mind control over their audience? I just think it's so funny. It's like you get mad at their audience. You get mad at them because of their audience's behavior, but they're the one, like, yeah, it's their behavior that you should be getting mad at. And if you take Hasan's behavior and look at it just on the face of what he does, it really is very cordial. Like, he's a very cordial person to his fellow streamers and stuff. Like, look at the way that he treated Ethan Klein forever. He's treating him with so much grace and respect, far longer than he deserved. And I think this is a pattern that's rearing its head again with David Pakman, who just literally in this clip, accuses Hasan of anti-Semitism, saying that the only reason that he said I have an APAC handler is because I'm Jewish. Like, he's accusing him of being prejudiced against Jews. And Hasan is still like, no, David Pakman's a cool, chill guy. Like, we're friends. Did I say David Klein?
Of Israel, but it also stems from his personal opinions when it comes to American foreign policy. Like David, regardless of his socially progressive attitude, for years and years has had a lot of differences of opinion from someone like myself when it comes to American foreign policy, and he lands on the side that almost always is on the side of the United States, that rehashes and repeats whatever the State Department line is on a particular matter. Okay, so there's multiple reasons. He responds and says, guys, give me a break. I'm not pretending to not know what AIPAC is. I'm just unsure on the pronunciation. It's the same as how I get mixed up with the first O in sorrow is pronounced or how the first A in Lara is pronounced. I mean, yeah, I don't know about all that. I think that's...
Okay, whatever. We'll skip back to the interview.
Well, but yeah, so that's a little crazy, right? Like, it's pretty obvious I did not say he has an AIPAC handler or anything like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe have I joked about it? I can't even think of an instance.
You didn't say it. You did. All right, whatever.
Where I've like made a joke that he could have taken seriously. Like I said, I have a policy of like not being as disruptive to people who at least offer me some level of charity. I can't be out here burning bridges nonstop left and right. I don't really have a lot. I don't really have a lot of allies. I've definitely joked about calling him David A. Pakman. His brother...
Like, dude, this is what I don't understand. And this is why I wanted to cover this in this stream. Hasan acknowledges that David Pakman is like essentially an American imperialist, right? But then he goes on, like, an American imperialist, anti-Palestine, pro-Israel. At the very best, you can say that he ignored the genocide that Israel was carrying out against the Palestinians. And at the worst, you can say that he's doing defense for Israel's genocide of Palestinians. Like, I remember he came out with a video when that hospital in Gaza had been bombed, and he's like accusing all of these leftist streamers of anti-Semitism, right? Or accusing the Guardian of anti-Semitism because they wrote up an article saying that Israel bombed a hospital in Gaza. And then he's like, oh, well, they did it too quickly, and so, they're anti-Israeli, they're anti-Semitic. I wonder why they did it this quickly. Like, he has run defense for the genocide every single time he makes a video about Israel. And Hasan, very correctly, in my opinion, says that David Pakman is an American imperialist, but then he just goes on and says, well, I need to be nice to him because I don't have that many allies left. And I'm just at the point where, sure, David Pakman makes like Trump pooped his pants videos. That's great. Oh, look at that. He fell asleep in the Oval Office again. Wow. He makes Trump bad videos. Just because he makes Trump bad videos doesn't mean that he's your fucking ally. I don't like, sure, maybe he's socially progressive, but anyone who is unwilling to look at the genocide that Israel's doing, I don't think can be considered an ally of the online left right now. Like, he openly criticizes the left. He's called you anti-Semitic in this very video. And you're sitting here being like, don't be mean to David Pakman. He's my ally. And this is exactly what he did with Ethan Klein, where his entire chat for probably upwards to close to a year was saying that Ethan Klein is like really bad on Israel. Ethan Klein has been calling you like a terrorist supporter. Ethan Klein is making fun of Aaron Bushnell for self-immolating. He's saying that people being pro-Palestine on Twitter is empowering Netanyahu to do more genocide. He's bringing on Palestinian rights activists that blame the Palestinians for their own deaths. And Hasan's like, no, he has good stuff in his heart. I can't burn all of these bridges. It's like, this is a problem with him, but I just think this is a really massive blind spot where, like, David Pakman is, like, at best, to be the most charitable to him, turning a blind eye to genocide, and you're gonna sit in your room and be like, oh, he's my ally, I can't burn bridges. That's kind of crazy to me. That's really crazy to me. Not only are you like, oh, he's my ally, and ignoring the fact that he's like pro genocide. He also just fucking called you anti-Semitic in this clip that you're reacting to currently, and you're still sitting there being like, no, no, I can't burn bridges with him. The bridge is burnt, dude. There's nothing to be gained from you sitting here and pretending like there's this bridge that you can walk across when it's gone. Um, I don't get it. I don't think like, sure, maybe you can have a cordial relationship with these people, but in the fucking clip where he says you're anti-Semitic and he's has this like bemused look in the tone of like, oh, these pro-Palestine content creators are all ridiculous, right? Like, this is not an ally tone that from like this is not the tone you'd expect from someone that you think to call your ally. Uh, I think it's crazy. Like, I have two conditions when I'm thinking about when I'm considering voting for politicians. Are they anti-Israel? And more specifically, are they pro-Palestine? Because you can say that like Marjorie Taylor Greene is anti-Israel, but she doesn't give a fuck about Palestine. And are they anti-capital? David Pakman, not anti-Israel, and as far as I can tell, he's not super anti-capital either. He's probably like more like pro Medicare for all and pro safety nets, but I don't think he's ideologically anti-capitalist.
Works for the ADL? No, I know that.
His brother works for the ADL, though, but he's my ally. All right, we'll rewind this one more time.
I guess like people also were yelling, I'll defend David on the Chorus Wired article, but yeah, so that's a little crazy, right? Like it's pretty obvious I did not say he has an APAC handler or anything like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe have I joked about it? I can't even think of an instance where I've like made a joke that he could have taken seriously. Is like I said, I have a policy of like not being as disruptive to people who at least offer me some level of charity.
He just offer you some level of charity. And like, dude, I don't know, man. Everyone has their blind spots, right? Everyone has their blind spots. This is Hasan's blind spot. Oh, this person is my friend. I'm going to always give them the benefit of the doubt, even when they're like saying right into my face, I hate you, I think you're a horrible person, and you deserve to die. Hasan's like, wow, I like that. I just love being with you. Like we're such good allies. Like he's sitting here. He's like, David Pakman offers me some charitability. In the clip, David Pakman says, the only reason he says I have an APAC handler is because I'm Jewish, which is calling you anti-Semitic. That's it. Calling you anti-Semitic is the charitability that you're saying he's extending to you. Like this is a massive blind spot for Hasan. My blind spot is my dick. Why is he like this? Because he's at the end of the day, Hasan is just a chubby little boy that loves to hang out with his friends. That's that. That's like the emotional development of Hasan. That's where his emotional development stopped maturing, and he still has these people that he thinks of as his friends, and he's going to always try to I don't know like ignore. It's like he's obstinately ignoring any downside that they're saying in favor of like, oh well, we have to have a community or we have to be friends. But which is crazy because like he's obviously joked and called David Pakman an APAC, like David APAC man. Like he knows that David Pakman's pro-Israel and anti-Palestine, but all of a sudden now he's like, oh he's my ally. I can't burn bridges. Like I can say that he's pro APAC and in line with APAC, but I'm not gonna. I don't even know what is the burning of a bridge here. Just being like, yeah, fuck David Pakman. Like, I don't know. Do I play OW? I don't know what that is.
I'm not. I can't be out here burning bridges nonstop left and right. I don't really have a lot You know, I don't really have a lot of allies. I've definitely joked about calling him David A. Pakman. His brother works for the ADL. No, I know.
Like, I just don't understand what the burning of a bridge is, right? You say that he works for AIPAC, whatever, in a joking manner. He's aligned with AIPAC, sure. So you say that. You acknowledge that he's pro-Israel. You acknowledge that he's anti-pro-Palestine. And what left is there to burn the bridge of? You say he's pro-AIPAC, pro-Israel, anti-Palestine. David Pakman says you're anti-Semitic, right? Like, in return, he says you're anti-Semitic. What bridge are you trying to maintain here? Like, what's the next step in the degradation of this relationship? I just don't understand what Hasan has to gain by calling David Pakman an ally. Like, he's pro-AIPAC, pro-Israel, anti-Palestine, but he's an ally of yours. And you're telling your audience, like, let's just put this into perspective. The audience clipped this out because David Pakman says that Hasan is anti-Semitic in this clip, right? For all intents and purposes, he's calling Hasan anti-Semitic. They clip it out, they post it onto his community. They're like, hey, watch this clip of David Pakman. Hasan watches it. He's like, oh, well, he's an ally and we shouldn't, like, burn bridges. What's the bridge? What bridge is being burned? How is your audience burning a bridge by clipping out a segment where David Pakman calls you anti-Semitic? Like, nothing about this makes any sense. Nothing about this makes any sense, and I keep finding myself at the refrain that this is a massive blind spot for Hasan. Like, no one's perfect. Everyone has their weaknesses. Everyone has the things in their lives they overlook. This just doesn't, like, this whole segment makes zero sense coming from Hasan. What kind of goofy name is Pakman? Pretty good name. It's a pretty good name.
I know that. I'm aware of that. That's entirely different than claiming that someone has an AIPAC handler. As a matter of fact, if you look at,
it's different, but in terms of the message you're trying to convey, it's not that different, right? You're saying he's aligned with AIPAC, which he is. Like, the specifics, the details are different. The handler definitely makes it sound worse. David Pakman, once again, is being uncharitable in his estimation of your positions. Not only is he saying that you're anti-Semitic, but he's also saying that you said something much worse than what you did say. But the idea, the spirit of what that is pretty much the same. The specific details of saying he has an AIPAC handler versus, like, joking about a Pakman. It's like, oh, he's not in control of his own show. He's getting direct marching orders from Israel versus just making, like, a humorous comment that he's ideologically aligned with AIPAC. Like, those are different things, but the spirit is pretty much the same. Once again, where's the bridge? Where's the bridge that you're afraid of your audience burning down?
the commentary there, you know, clearly, if you look at the actual commentary, I'm saying, like, no, this is his own personal biases. I think it's not, you know, he's not getting paid for this opinion or something like that.
That is, I'm Jewish. I've never had an AIPAC handler or taken $1 from AIPAC or anything like that. But I recognize that he has a huge audience that is further to the left of where you are and where I am. Reaching to the middle, I understand. Is there value in trying to reach that young, further to the left, anti-capitalist audience that he has built, for better or worse?
A leader should reach out to everyone.
And see how David Pakman describes this? Young and anti-capitalist, right? Would he be saying that it's anti-capitalist if he's an anti-capitalist? This is why I'm saying David Pakman is not an ally. I'm just, like, so fucking done with Democrats. It's just, you got to be anti-Israel, you got to be anti-capitalist. You're a good candidate.
One.
Oh, the libs are trotting out their entire panoply of tactics. Yeah,
I sit down with people in New Jersey from all.
Bro, stop trying to make friends with people who don't with you. Guys, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Okay, it's just maybe this is gonna make you really upset, but I think a lot of people genuinely consider being the most antisocial person possible.
Like this is why I say that at the end of the day, Hasan is just a chubby kid that wishes he could make friends with everyone. Because saying like sa- not saying that David Pakman is your ally is not the same as being antisocial, right? Like you're like, oh, he's aligned with AIPAC, he's pro-Israel. Which, by the way, are the it, even Republicans that are anti-Israel are more charitable to Hasan than liberals that are pro-Israel. Like, I think it's fair to say that the most opposite of an ally you can be to Hasan right now is any form of a Zionist. Any Zionist is the biggest op to Hasan. And so when Hasan gets on here and he's like, David Pakman, he's aligned with AIPAC, he's pro-Israel, he's anti-Palestine, but he's an ally. That's crazy. Then when someone's like, don't be friends with them, sure, it's not being friends. He's not talking about, I'm going to like hang out with David Pakman. He's saying like, we have to work together or something, like coordinate for political goals. But then he like is like, oh, it's antisocial to start criticizing David Pakman. That's not antisocial. That's not antisocial behavior at all. You wanted to make an allyship with another content creator to try to achieve larger, broader political goals is not being sociable. And breaking down that bridge is not being antisocial. This is like a weird psychological hang up that he has. We got to be friends with everyone. Anyway,
as the peak of like moral activism. No, I have to literally maintain a neutral posture against those who I oppose. Okay, that's it. You're never going to convince me not to do this because you don't.
And like this is the other thing, a neutral posture against those I oppose. You just called him an ally. What are you talking about? The chatter said stop trying to be friends with the person. When you called David Pakman an ally, and they're like, okay, stop trying to be friends. That's reasonable. And then you're like, no, I have to maintain a neutral posture against those I oppose. A neutral posture against those you oppose? No, you don't. Also, being an ally with someone is not taking a neutral posture. And if you oppose them, why are you neutral on them? Like this is complete nonsense that he's spouting out here. It's antisocial to not be friends with people I oppose. Like, dude, this is what we criticize old school politicians for, right? The type of Joe Biden politician where it's like, well, we can be mortal enemies on the Congress floor, but when we go out to drinks together, we're the bestest of friends. Like, this is the type of shit that Americans on the right and the left reject wholeheartedly. They don't want the bullshit fake politics is just a job politicians anymore. They want people that are genuine. They want genuinity. They want genuinity in their content creators. They want genuinity in their politicians that they elect. And it's just weird to me that he's like, we have to have a neutral position against those we oppose. We have to maintain allyship with them. It's antisocial behavior to stop being friends with people we oppose. Yeah, it's really just dumb stuff coming from Hasan here. But it's just like, and I think this stems from him seeing David Pakman, who he ostensibly thought he was on good terms with, just coming after him in a completely bloodthirsty way. Same with Ethan Klein, and I think that shit with Ethan Klein really hurt Hasan, and now this is hurting Hasan too. And he's like, well, but I can't lose another friend. The friend is gone, dude. He's not your friend. Stop pretending that he's friends with you.
You don't see the success of not burning bridges because you consider burning bridges and not being diplomatic with other communities, with other massive communities, as like the peak of activism. And it's
not being diplomatic with massive communities. Like, he blamed you for making him lose views. He says you're anti-Semitic. This is the community you're trying to court right now?
Very frustrating. You don't understand that obviously requires a delicate touch. The idea that people can change their minds is important to me. Okay. And I will continue behaving in this pragmatic manner. My point is not to like be best friends with David Pakman either, but you guys don't have a way to understand it. Oh, what's really interesting about this is...
Yeah, and also he's accusing his audience of not having a way to understand it when he's done a horrible job of explaining what he actually means. He's trying to maintain a cordial relationship with David Pakman's community, but he's on his stream calling you an anti-Semite. That what community, what relationship is there to be gained there? Like, what bridge are you trying to build? And the other thing is this just strictly a personal project for you to try to get as many subscribers as possible? Because on the issues that you agree, which is essentially Trump bad, David Pakman's going to do a fine job communicating the idea to his audience that Trump is bad. On the issues that you disagree, namely Israel, you are not going to win over any of David Pakman's audience because you already won them over. There's no one left for you to win over. So unless you're just trying to get as large of an audience as possible by being like, we have to still maintain a relationship with David Pakman, you're not going to achieve any broader political goals more effectively by being an ally with the man, by like trying to court his community, because that bridge has already been cut. David Pakman just described the effect of that bridge being cut at the beginning of this clip when he said when you called him David A. Pakman, he lost a bunch of audience members. So like what? And it's not like you're going to save his current audience members, and they're fine. They're getting the Trump bad content that they go to his channel for. This just screams like a vanity project from Hasan here.
This was me literally being like, I've been unbelievably gracious to David Pakman in spite of our ideological differences. And
yeah, you've been unbelievably gracious to him, and he calls you an anti-Semite. Same with Ethan Klein. Maybe it's time for you to learn a different lesson.
He's still, saying ridiculous shit about me on his show to Cory Booker, who has, compared me to unfavorable far-right figures, right? And it's really interesting. But of course, real conversation has to turn into how I'm too nice to David Pakman because I'm not demanding he go to prison or something.
Yeah. No. You called him an ally, and people said stop trying to be friends with him. Why are you being an ally when he's calling you anti-Semitic? You're being charitable to him. He's calling you anti-Semitic. Do you see why your audience might be a little bit frustrated with this type of shit? You're like, we need to be charitable to him. Hasan has been charitable to him. And still, even the slightest bit of pushback, even the slightest joke about David Pakman being aligned with AIPAC, and that's enough for Pakman to call you anti-Semitic. Maybe he's not your ally. Maybe it's not antisocial to be like, okay, this guy's kind of like a piece of shit. I don't know. Am I the one who's wrong?
All across the political and ideological spectrum, especially looking to sit down with people that I don't agree with. They've made me a better senator. They've made me a better leader. They've made me a better public servant. So I appreciate the way you approach this question, because I remember getting ticked off when I was running for president, and we actually banded together and all said, enough of these, like, raise your hand if you believe da-da-da-da-da, which was just lightning bolt questions with no nuance and no discussion. I am seeing the crisis we're in because, again, in the Central Ward of Newark, New Jersey, there is so much frustration with politics as usual. We need a revolution like we had in the time of the New Deal, a revolution like we had in the time of LBJ in the 1960s. Every time we have a generational movement. And this is a time where enough of the baby boomer generation that's given us so much, but I don't think we should have, this should be the last baby boomer head of the Senate.
I guess my point, by the way, is that, like, what I want from at least my community is a little bit more grace and a little bit more charitability. Especially,
It's so funny. It's so funny because I think this his community is extremely charitable. And, when you hear someone say the Palestinians deserve to get blown up, that's where you lose charitability to me. And yeah, that's where you lose charitability. That's where my charitability runs out. Whenever someone talks about Israel, they're only there to talk about how, oh, people like Hasan are a little bit too pro-Palestine. Maybe they don't understand the intricacies and the detailed history of Israel. You lose some of my charitability there, right? And he's asking for his chat to be more gracious when he should really be asking David Pakman to be more gracious, right? I showed you grace, and you call me an anti-Semite. Where's the graciousness in that? But then when he says, oh, we need to be allies with David Pakman, in his chat's like, why are you trying to be friends with him? He's like, just be more gracious. And he does like the jank baby hands.
Actually, when I'm eating it, man, I don't want to duke it out in here with you guys too, especially with long-term community members. Like, do you not see what's going on? Do you have no care or consideration for what's happening beyond your immediate needs and your immediate worldview? Do you not see some very powerful forces uniting to try to deplatform me? We just went through a...
Yep, and guess who's one of those forces? David Pakman. Like, now he's like, oh, why is my chat being mean to me? This is supposed to be my safe space.
Article where there's like Jewish advocacy organizations trying to bar my entry into the UK, man. Like, how do you look at all of that and say, you know what? This is the moment where I lean into these forces and try to hit them from the left flank as well. I feel like I've done enough work in this space for you to have a little bit of charitability with what I'm doing, right?
It's like, like, is the charitability that he's asking for him or for his or for David Pakman from his chat? He's just asking his chat to have charitability towards him. Okay, whatever. Like, it's literally like, dude, you called someone who called you an anti-Semite an ally, and then they're like, why are you friends with him? And then you're like, well, people are trying to call me an anti-Semite right now. It's like, please just have respect for the system of the way that I treat my peers, because there are people trying to cancel me. It's like David Pakman's trying to cancel you. People are just confused. Whatever, man.
This is a huge problem with the broader left anyway. We're so fragmented. We're so unbelievably fragmented, and we just like sit around and we think, why are we so fragmented? This is...
I also disagree with this. I don't think the left is that fragmented. I think Israel's been a huge unifying force, and anyone who's not Israel, not like anti-Israel, I think they've proven themselves to not be a leftist. And yeah, I don't think that's an issue of being too fragmented or anything. I think that there are essentially two fragments in the Democrats: the anti-Israel Democrats and the pro-Israel Democrats, the anti-Zionists, the pro-Zionists.
This is why. This is a big part of it. People don't think about like movement building or organizing with people that you don't fucking agree with 99% of the time. You just go, nah, this guy. And you can...
Yeah. Like, I don't understand this, man. David Pakman, anti-Palestine, and you're calling him an ally. This is the issue.
Literally be a fan for years and years, right? You can be a fan for years and years, and you'll be like, I didn't like the way you conducted yourself here, and I actually don't care about why you did the thing that you did. I've now decided you're my enemy. You're my ideological opponent. This is how people find themselves in like weirdly, tinier, fragmented splinter groups and communities that spend every waking moment.
Yeah, but dude, calling someone who's a Zionist that says you're anti-Semitic for insinuating that he has an AIPAC connection, calling them an enemy is not an isolated community thing. This isn't like you're like fucking goth latex furry subreddit that you find yourself in. This is a pretty broad political movement. This is the largest grassroots political movement, at least in like recent American history. Like in terms of the total amount of public opinion shift, this is one of the biggest movements ever in American history. And you're like, oh, being anti-Zionist means that you're like being against a Zionist politically and like rhetorically against David Pakman means that you're in an isolated community. This is a wild thing to say. Like there are much more valid criticisms you can be making. Like there are situations where this criticism is valid, but this is not that situation. This isn't like David Pakman used the R slur, or he made like an offhanded comment about sex workers or something. Like this is him saying you're anti-Semitic because you're anti-Zionist. At the end of the day, that's why. While people are trying to cancel you for being anti-Semitic.
Instead of attacking the forces of capital, instead of attacking much more powerful entities.
He just said, oh, these people are anti-capital. He's pro-capital. David Pakman is pro-capital and pro-Israel. Those are the two biggest issues in the world right now, at least in America. I mean, in American politics.
In this country,
like what? Oh, there are broader issues that we should unite on, and he's on the opposing side on the two biggest issues.
That spend every waking moment, instead of attacking the forces of capital, instead of attacking much more powerful entities in this country that are cancerous to both discourse and cancerous to the democratic process, but instead attacking people like myself. It's opportunists. I care about other people around us. No, you're gonna vocally do the same thing, okay?
The last baby boomer president, a new generation is rising in America that needs to have a powerful, revolutionary set of ideals to redeem the American dream. That's what I'm fighting for. It behooves me to listen to people that I disagree with because can make me better, can make my arguments sharper, or, as I've seen in my 25 years in politics, actually help me evolve as a leader to have better ideas.
So on the specifics of getting in front of that Hasan audience, valuable, not so much?
I think if you are saying, and I've said this to my team, you remember, I went in and took a job this year to help my caucus, who the average age is, I think it used to be 70 something, in the Senate as a whole, to say we're doing a terrible job communicating to young people. In fact, I think that one of the reasons why Donald Trump won is because he was getting on Discord and Twitch and mixed martial arts podcasts and platforms, talking to young men. And we weren't even, our presidential team was not even on those platforms at all. They had a complete echo chamber with just their views. I got my team to get more on TikTok when other people did not realize that younger voters, that's how they get most of their news. And I've watched my caucus, because I can measure this all, more than 7x if you get out of Twitter, 4x with Twitter, the amount of engagement they have. I've seen how their engagement with younger voters has increased. I've seen them go on you and I both know in the creator economy, there are thousands of people that talk to young voters. And I've seen my colleagues get on more and more of those shows. So absolutely, yes, we have especially had a communications problem that for the 43 of us, I'm trying to push my team to go more and more to talk to younger voters who we need, not just to hear our message, but we need to be inspiring them.
F.A. Pakman. Well, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, David Pakman really just, I don't know, he sucks. Let's just be honest. David Pakman sucks.
To get on the field and begin to lead the Democratic Party in the United States of America from cynicism to activism so that we can have a better nation.
That's a direct question about me with Jon Favreau, or not Jon Favreau, with John Lovett, and he did the exact same thing. He loves to filibuster, bro. Just say it with your chest, man. If you think I'm just anti-Semite, just say it, you know? So it's so disingenuous. I hate moments like this that just rip apart unity, okay? We don't have the time.
Like, I don't understand this. I hate moments like this where David Pakman calls me an anti-Semite. Like, I don't, like, dude, look, I understand the sentiment from Hasan here, right? Oh, we're fighting against fascism. We're fighting against Trump. Why are we bickering amongst ourselves? But his ire for this bickering should be directed at David Pakman. It should not be directed at his chat, right? At his community. Like, David Pakman's the one that says that Hasan's anti-Semitic and his audience is too anti-capitalist. That's what's going on in this situation. And Hasan's like, well, why are we fighting? Why are we fighting, chat? Stop trying to rip apart our unity. It's like, bro, the unity's gone. What are we doing here? Hasan is way too cocky. Goddamn, Jess.
Or the movement to just push people aside, just say unity. We just don't have it. Okay, we're staring at a fascist country right now that is actively trying to take away people's civil liberties.
Yeah, I know. I know, but David Pakman's in favor of fascism, at least when it comes to Israel. Like, I don't know what else to say. You're trying to pretend David Pakman's on your side when he's spitting in your fucking face.
Is taking away the voting power that black people have in the South with their redistricting efforts, and we're over here being like, oh man, I don't like that you're being, I don't like that in the past you were charitable to certain people, and they've you over and over again. I think you should be way more mean. Well, I gave you a good example of being charitable to certain people that I have significant disagreements with, and how that's actually been somewhat successful in allowing me to have some allies in this space.
Yeah, but David, well, okay, first of all, what are the examples of you being charitable towards someone? Like, I'm not even disagreeing with that fact. I know you're charitable towards them, but there are plenty of examples where you are charitable to people for way too long, and it burned you in the end. David Pakman is one of these examples. Like, he's not your ally. Where are you getting the idea that he's your ally? He's in this clip. He's like bemoaning the idea that you stole his audience from him, and he's maligning you as an anti-Semite. Like, what are we talking about? Oh, we need to maintain charitability towards people so we can be allies with them. No, that's not the case.
Have to have allies in this space. I'm sorry, guys. This community is constantly growing and constantly getting smaller as well. There are, a lot of people who check out. So we have to filter in new people in the process. And if I had your attitude, if I was constantly trying to shank people left and right, especially in the independent media sphere, then yeah, this community would become a much more marginal, a much tinier one. Okay. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean we should be aligning with like neo some shit. I make that calculation on my own, and I just am basically telling you, you have to trust me on this sometimes. Do you understand? I do this because I understand the urgency. Okay. Purity politics is toxic, unbelievably toxic. And it's really funny because everyone also hates it. Even people who are its most vociferous defenders, they are the people who hate it as well. They just do it to other groups. Everyone does it to a certain degree. I mean, certainly you could say I'm doing it when I say, yeah, I don't want to align with neo-Nazis on the issue of Israel, right? You could be like, oh.
Do you want to align with Zionists on the issue of Israel? Like, this is what people are accusing you of. They're not disagreeing with your overarching goals of, making your community an open and relevant one, and one that's willing to work with different groups of people, even if you don't align with everyone. But if we're on the subject of talking about at what line do you stop working with people, neo-Nazis, when it comes to Israel, is a pretty damn good line to stop working with people. What about Zionists when it comes to Israel? Are you going to work with them? Because if you are, then maybe people don't know you as well as they thought they did. But what I really think the case is that Hasan just doesn't. I don't know, because I was going to say he doesn't think David Pakman's a Zionist, but he's called him David A. Pakman before. Like, he knows that he's a Zionist. At least he's like aligned with Israel. I guess he just thinks that he's not that bad of a Zionist. But when you're complaining about being canceled right now by pro-Israel Zionist groups, it strikes me as odd when you're defending a guy calling you an anti-Semite, right? Like David Pakman calls you an anti-Semite here, and then you're like, guys, we can't go after David because there are people calling me anti-Semitic right now. Yeah, he's one of them.
Oh, that's purity politics, right? At the end of the day, they're against Israel. Well, the reason for why is because I don't think they actually are against Israel. They want to do Israel here in the United States of America, and they're not.
Yeah. You're describing why you're not working with Nazis, which I don't think your audience really needs you to describe. Okay. I think he's charitable to the wrong people, to being the biggest issue. Being charitable is an amazing quality, but when he keeps not learning from his mistakes, can be defend you at some point. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like he's just in a mood when he made this clip. I think his audience just like called him out, and he's found himself kind of in a rabbit hole trying to defend some indefensible positions.
Actually against Israel. They're just using the issue of Israel to foment anti-Semitism, and some people fall for it, right? A lot of pockets in this community are becoming more and more insular, and we're creating mini echo chambers that go out to other streams and splinter discourse, etc. I try to act like their view is the overarching community views. We must always keep in mind what Hasan's goals for his own community are. Yeah. I think the most basic concept here is, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar, right?
You're not going to catch David Pakman nor his audience. So, I mean, it's cute that you're trying, but it's not going to happen because all of the audience members that you would have caught, you already did. David himself said that.
No, I think that's the statement, right? Set to it, run. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. All I'm saying is, remember how appreciative you were at some point when I was understanding of your ideology.
This is so funny, right? Because now he's equating David Pakman to a lost Twitch viewer. He's equating the political streamer / YouTuber Zionist David Pakman, who spent like the last year calling Hasan an anti-Semite, and he's comparing that person to like a 16-year-old kid stumbling upon Twitch with some reactionary viewpoints spouting off in Hasan's chat. Interesting. I mean, it's an interesting tactic. I don't agree with it at all, but it's funny that he's making this comparison.
Logical shortcomings. Okay? Remember that. There will always be an area where you or myself will have ideological shortcomings, blind spots born out of privilege, the privilege of even being a first worlder, right?
A blind spot born out of privilege. All right. Well, you said it, Hasan, not me. Although I did say it like, I did say it way before Hasan said it.
Privilege of living and growing up in the imperial core. That's an unbelievable privilege that you have over billions of people on this planet that don't have that same fortune. They weren't born here. So there's a lot of blind spots that come along with that, and you got to work at it. You got to chip away at it. Okay? And regardless of my worldview on imperialism, empire, anti-imperialism, I'm still pretty understanding of people who demonstrate that blind spot, because I understand that most people's starting position here is that blind spot.
But it's not fucking David Pakman. Like
imperialism.
Okay, like this is a clip. This is cut off. Maybe he went on and was talked more about David Pakman. But going off of this, David Pakman does not have an imperialism blind spot who's just starting his political journey and needs to be educated. What are we talking about here? The man called you an anti-Semite. The man is like not anti-capitalist. He's pro-capitalist. He says your community's too anti-capitalist, right? And you're like, no, we need to be allies. Everyone has their blind spots. A lot of people have a lot of people have a pro-imperialism stance when they first start getting into politics, so we need to be charitable. Bro, like, this is literally infantilizing David Pakman. He's a grown-ass man with like millions of subscribers on YouTube, that just called you anti-Semitic. What is going on right now? Bad Empanada has unfortunately become another Hasan bad guy. Bad Empanada has always been a Hasan bad guy. Don't get it twisted. What are the comments here? Pretending not to know how to say APAC felt like intentional rage bait. Let's full screen this. David A. Pakman is perfect. If there's anything David Pakman is concerned about, it's his revenue stream. Did not realize Pakman was still around. Remember when Pakman made 3 AI-generated kids books so he wouldn't have to pay an artist? It's just so funny. Like, Hasan just spends 15 minutes being like, David Pakman still needs durability. His entire comment section is like, David Pakman bad. Hasan, they didn't take your advice. And nor should they. This was bad advice. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Okay. He posts more about Hasan more than Ethan recently. Well, to be fair, Ethan is irrelevant, so that makes sense. Stockholm Syndrome, that's what you're thinking of. You think Hasan has Stockholm Syndrome or Bad Empanada? He spoke with Hasan before and was agreeing with him. Yeah, well, he is a YouTuber. Like, Bad Empanada is a YouTuber. He's gonna go for the things that get him clicks. Dude, Bad Empanada is hilarious. Like, he almost reminds me of, I guess it doesn't remind me of anything, but he gives me the vibe where if he's by himself, he can get a little unhinged, and then when he talks with people, he like comes back down to earth. It's like, I don't know. He's like a guy in a cabin, all isolated, going fucking crazy. And then when you talk to him, he's like normal, right? Yeah, like I don't really care if he's making Hasan bad videos. Someone needs to. Someone needs to make Hasan bad videos, and I'd rather have Bad Empanada do it than a fucking Nazi. Okay, Green Party. What else was I gonna watch on here? Oh yeah, speaking about Hasan bad videos, Bill Maher made a Hasan bad video, so we gotta watch this too. New rule: no Jews, no news. Interesting. I think this was the quietest I've ever heard his audience before. Bro, you could hear a pin drop in there. The audience silence was deafening. Every once in a while, a flare goes off, and you get to see where everyone's standing. What? That's just a funny comment. I think Bill was actually surprised by his audience's silence. Okay, we have to watch this now. I hope that look, if this stream gets taken down because Bill Maher has his show copyrighted, just know that I love everyone. Okay, if I die, just know that I've always loved all of you. All right, but we'll put it into mini mode so that I can play some Slay the Spire while we watch.
And finally, new rules since yesterday was Israel's birthday, having become a nation on May 14th, 78 years ago.
Oh God, he's celebrating Israel's birthday. Starting off real cringe here. Oh God, Israel's birthday. It's a very Also, what the fuck is this? Right before the Israel segment, he does a Marco Rubio comparison to AOC thing. That's great.
And finally, new rules since yesterday was Israel's birthday, having become a nation on May 14th, 78 years ago. Everyone must either wish her a happy birthday or admit they're anti-Semitic. Now, it's everyone's right.
You know what's funny about that joke? That's a joke that would be made by someone who's anti-Israel, right? But Bill Maher is pro-Israel. So it's not really a joke because You're pro-Israel. You can't say that when you actually call people anti-Semitic for criticizing the actions of Israel. You can't correctly like call people out for that type of statement when you're the one making that statement. That'd be, I don't know, that'd be like me making a like an attack helicopter joke. Like I identify as an attack helicopter because I do believe that people can identify as different genders. So it has no teeth behind it. It's like you're temporarily adopting the affect of the people that you malign as anti-Semitic. Okay, whatever. Like this was 2 seconds into 14 seconds into the video, and we have some deep analysis already.
And finally, new rules since yesterday was Israel's birthday. Having become a nation on May 14th, 78 years ago, everyone must either wish her a happy birthday or admit they're anti-Semitic. Now, it's everyone's right in a free country to be anti-Semitic, but enough with hiding behind Israel or Zionism or Netanyahu. If you think, as so many do now, that when it comes to human rights, Israel is the monster country of all time, you either don't read or you don't care about your own hypocrisy. Because there are so many worse places. But that's where we are these days. No.
What? Wait. Wait. How is saying that Israel is the like most monstrous country of all time hypocritical? Unless you're like living in, because I'm assuming that Bill Maher thinks that he's talking to Americans, right? Because that's where the most of the people watch him. So he's saying that Americans saying that Israel is a bad country is hypocritical, which means he thinks America is the worst country of all time, at least worse than Israel or just as bad. Like what are we? Dude, that's a crazy thing. He's like, oh, if you think that Israel's bad, take a look at your own war crimes, you hypocrites. Dude, who wrote this? Who wrote this for Bill Maher? They should get fired. It really does feel like his writing has gotten a lot sloppier.
Birthday, having become a nation on May 14th, 78 years ago, everyone must either wish her a happy birthday or admit they're anti-Semitic. Now, it's everyone's right in a free country to be anti-Semitic, but enough with hiding behind Israel or Zionism or Netanyahu. If you think it's...
Look at the way that he's holding his hands here. You can tell that he's nervous. He's treading on eggshells as he's delivering this monologue.
So many do now that when it comes to human rights, Israel is the monster country of all time. You either don't read or you don't care about your own hypocrisy. Because there are so many worse places. But that's where we are these days. No Jews, no news. Haha. But China, Russia, the Sudan, Iran, Myanmar, Haiti, the Congo,
Myanmar?
North Korea, all way worse. And that's how you know it's anti-Semitism.
Human rights violations could amount to war crimes.
North Korea.
Unrelenting repression, hunger, and inequality. Like, Bill, you realize all of these headlines, I don't know, are these real headlines? I guess so.
Days. No Jews, no news. Haha.
Chinese persecution of the Uyghurs.
But China, Russia,
oppression of journalists, activists, and dissenters in Russia. Like, I'm just going to keep reading it until I see something that Israel hasn't done, and then I'll point that out.
The Sudan,
humanitarian and human rights crises,
Iran,
protest death toll,
Myanmar,
atrocities against Burma's Rohingya population,
Haiti, the Congo.
What was Haiti?
The Sudan, Iran, Myanmar, Haiti.
Human rights situation in Haiti remains very alarming.
The Congo.
Human rights violations could amount to war
North
crimes.
Korea.
Unrelenting repression, hunger,
all way
inequality.
worse. And that's how you know it's
All way worse. He's so good, dude. He's so good. This is why they pay him the big bucks. He just says that the countries are worth. He just says that countries are worse than Israel. Every single thing in that list that you just read off, Israel has done like tenfold over what all these other countries did, combined, right? But no, they're trust Bill Maher. They're way worse. Yeah, also, there were not 30,000 Iranian protesters gunned down in the streets, but even if there were, Israel is still way worse than Iran.
anti-Semitism. It's the inconsistency.
Oh, the inconsistency. Oh, I thought it was hypocrisy. I thought it was hypocrisy because America is way worse than Israel.
People talk about Jews these days like something out of Stormfront, except it's not Stormfront. It's an editor from...
They talk about Israelis like that, not Jews.
From the American Prospect, which is a venerable liberal publication that launched the careers of journalists like Ezra Klein, and yet no one blinks
Ezra Klein.
when one of their editors says, Israel is a brainwashed, psychopathic death cult that might need to be nuked to save the human race.
Oh no. Oh no. Wait, is someone talking about nuking a country? Wow, and it's a post with 3,000, almost 3,500 views on Twitter. Oh wow, almost 3,500 views. Remember when what is it, Randy or Ray? Like Ray Fiennes, I think it was, said that we needed to nuke Gaza, and that was a senator. Oh, no, with 3,500 views on Twitter. Oh my God. Where are my pearls? Where are my pearls? I must clutch them.
People say the left and the right can't agree on anything these days. Well, there is this one thing they agree on. Right-winger Tucker Carlson has Nick Fuentes and Holocaust deniers on his podcast and wonders along with them who really was the bad guy in World War II. And the New York Times has on their podcast super leftist Hasan, who they call a progressive mind, and who says Zionists should be treated the same as Nazis, which I assume means hung at Nuremberg.
Okay. Okay. That's something I can get behind, Bill Maher. You said it, not me. I don't believe in capital punishment, but I mean, Nuremberg trials, I'm all in favor for. Also, okay, like, how is it similar at all between Tucker Carlson interviewing someone who said that who really was the good guys versus the bad guys in World War II, right? That was a genocide, that was a Holocaust against Jews, and also an ethno-nationalist, imperialist country starting a world war. Sounds familiar. I wonder what that reminds me of. And Hasan saying that Zionists should be treated the same as Nazis. That's not the same at all. Oh yeah, actually, Germany was right to do pogroms against Jewish people and do ethnic cleansing and genocide against Jews and other ethnic groups. That is Germany was right to do that. Versus Hasan being like, people that commit war crimes should get punished. Yeah, that's a great comparison you made there, Bill.
That's what progressive is now? I guess.
Saying that people that committed war crimes should receive punishment? Is that progressive? Because if that's progressive, this country has really slipped into conservatism. Like that seems like it should be the baseline for anyone who wants to remain in public social life. Oh yeah, rape and genocide, that deserves punishment.
So, the kids are sure into it. They went nuts last year at Coachella for
The kids are into punishing people for war crimes. Wow, that's how you know that the kids have a good head on their shoulders.
Cap. That's the name of an Irish rap group. As if Ireland hasn't suffered enough.
don't get it. Say, is that a snide remark against rap music? Is he saying that people listening to rap music are suffering? Like it is suffering to listen to rap music, or maybe specifically Irish rap music.
Tucker Carlson has Nick Fuentes and Holocaust deniers on his podcast and wonders along with them who really was the bad guy in World War II. And the New York Times has on their podcast super leftist Hasan Piker, who they call a progressive mind, and who says Zionists should be treated the same as Nazis, which I assume means hung at Nuremberg. That's what progressive is now? I guess so. The kids are sure into it. They went nuts last year at Coachella for Kneecap. That's the name of an Irish rap group, as if Ireland hasn't suffered enough.
This guy's reaction is doing a lot of heavy lifting, right? I like to think my headcanon is that this person is an Irish guy, right? My headcanon is that he's Irish and he's like, fuck you, Bill.
Their stage set is a sign that says, fuck Israel. And then they send a beach ball around the crowd. Again,
Oh God, this is sad. Oh, he's calling it out. He's mad that the audience isn't laughing. Oh God. Oh God, I can see now why the comments are all talking about how silent his audience is. He's getting mad.
Stage set is a sign that says, fuck Israel. And then they send a beach ball around the crowd. Again, Because again, Israel is the only country in the world doing anything bad. I see why the meathead manosphere and the Code Pink people are on the same page, because they both went to high school in America and they don't know anything. So
Yeah, we have a bad education system. All right, let's see. Is this going to kill a person? I think so. Let's go.
So we really could someday soon have the tiki torch Jews will not replace us crowd and the Queers for Palestine people working together to elect the next Hitler. There's a North Carolina...
Oh, yeah, I love this. I love this comparison. I don't know. Is there anything that needs to be said that hasn't already been said? And how stupid this is. Like, just... Bill Maher. Let's examine this man's rhetoric, because it's his job to draw this comparison. And the only success, dude, this is what Bill Maher has, this is the work that Bill Maher has done in order to, comfortably draw this comparison to try to prime his audience. He said that Tucker Carlson interviewed someone and they were questioning whether the Nazis were good in World War II, right? And then he said Hasan Piker was being interviewed by the New York Times, and Hasan said that Zionists should be hanged just like the Nazis were hanged. So the comparison that you drew proved them to be quite literally exact opposites, right? Like, you said that the conservative Nazis were pro-Nazis, and then you said that Hasan was anti-Nazis and wanted to treat Zionists like Nazis, which was hang them. So you haven't done the necessary groundwork to get your audience to be perceptive to this comparison that you're trying to make. And so it doesn't hit when you say that tiki torch carrying, like, neo-Nazis are the same as Queers for Palestine people. Like, this just it does not land when the only work you've done to try to make it land is say conservatives like Nazis and leftists want Nazis to be hanged. Like, the comparison you've made have proven them to be quite literally the opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to, like, Nazism. But then you come in and you say that they'd work together to elect Hitler? This is just lazy writing.
teenager who's been charged with plotting to drive through a synagogue to fulfill her life goal of killing as many Jews as possible, because a kid's got to have a dream. I'm just asking, why in the world would this be the dream of some kid in North Carolina? Why is it the dream of Dan Bilzerian, who's running as a Republican to win a House seat in Florida? Who's Dan Bilzerian? Well, he's a professional douchebag who's attracted 30 million followers by doing this all day and posting it. Yes, he'll fit in fine with the current Congress.
I don't know who that is. But this guy kind of looks like Bill Maher, not gonna lie.
And Dan is fairly typical of the guys in the manosphere when he says, the only real battle in the world today that I see worth fighting is fucking, exterminating Israel. I mean, I would sign up tomorrow to go fucking put boots on the ground and go fucking kill Israelis. Why? Why is this asshole's life about two things? Getting more Viagra and exterminating the Jews. Israel was founded on the idea that...
I mean, look, not to defend Dan Bilzerian, but going after Israel is not exterminating the Jews. Those are two different things. Let's just be honest, man. Like, if he wanted to exterminate Jews, there's a lot of Jews in America he could do that to. Not to defend Dan Bilzerian. Like, the guy, as far as I know, is I don't know, like a neo-Nazi, basically. But still, like, even this is why liberals like Bill Maher are fucking doing horrors when it comes to fighting anti-Semitism. Because now, you have a neo-Nazi who is anti-Israel, and he's like, and then Bill Maher says, well, if you're anti-Israel, that means you're anti-Semitic. And Dan Bilzerian is anti-Semitic, but it's not because he's anti-Israel. And so it takes, like 10 times as much talking time to disentangle the idea that, you can be anti-Israel and also not anti-Semitic, as it does for Bill Maher to just make this conflation. And he does, and every time a Zionist makes this conflation, it makes more people believe in anti-Semitism. Because if being against Israel is anti-Semitic, then, anti-Semitism starts to look a lot more appealing to people. Oh, well, like, Israel's plunging the United States into a world war. Israel's the reason I'm paying $4.59 at the gas pump. Why, like, I'm against Israel, and Bill Maher's telling me that it's anti-Semitic to be against Israel? Well, I guess I'm anti-Semitic then. Bill Maher's saying that being critical of Israel is being critical of all of the Jews. Then I guess the Jews are the cause of all of my problems. Great job, Bill Maher. Great fucking job, you piece of fucking shit. Like, I hate this guy. I hate this guy so much.
Anti-Semitism made a Jewish state unnecessary because Jews would never be safe without one. Can you honestly listen to this?
You're a contributor to anti-Semitism, Bill Maher. Also, what the fuck are you talking about? Jews wouldn't be safe without Israel, without a Jewish state, when you just gave a quote about an anti-Semite wanting to target Israel, right? He's not targeting the Jews that are outside of Israel. Your safe space for the Jews are getting targeted by the Nazis. The Nazis were in favor of Jews getting an ethno-state. The original plan for the Holocaust wasn't to kill all of the Jews, it was to ethnically cleanse them. The Nazis would have been fine if the Jews were in a state of their own, right? But it's easier to kill people and set up death camps than it is to relocate all of them. So I like, once again, man, Zionists, they don't have anything. They're completely devoid of logic. And so Bill Maher, this is Zionist logic, right? Dan Bilzerian said that he wants to kill everyone in Israel. Very next sentence. This is why Israel needs to be a place. The Jews need their own place to be safe. Okay, well, there are Jews outside of Israel. if it was so safe in Israel and the guy was such a bloodthirsty anti-Semite, why wouldn't he kill the Jews in America that he has access to? Like, you just said that Israel's become a target for Jew hatred, and that's why it's necessary for Jews to go there. Like, it's a completely self-defeating argument. It's just that you cannot be logical if you're speaking about Zionism, unless you're like dishonest, right? You cannot be logical when you're speaking about Zionism if you're being dishonest. The only honest answer is, I am willing to sacrifice Jews in order to hurt Muslim countries, in order to destabilize all of the Muslim countries. And that's really the only point of supporting Zionism. If anyone was honest and being a Zionist, it would be, I'm willing to sacrifice Jewish lives and the reputation of Jewish communities and basically drag the idea and the whole religion of Judaism through the muck just so that Arab countries get destabilized and Muslims have a worse quality of life. And Bill Maher hates Muslims. Like, I don't know if Bill Maher is Jewish or like he likes Jews or whatever, if he's a Jewish supremacist, but he hates Muslims. And so he's willing to hurt Jews in order to hurt Muslims even more.
Rhetoric and not see why that turned out to be true? If you don't have the right-wingers on your side and you don't have the progressives, what do you have? What's more progressive than college, where professors now say things that would make Kanye wince? Osman Umgarji calls Zionists bloodthirsty animals. Who's he, the leader of ISIS? No, he's a professor right here in California.
The Zionists have been exposed for the criminals and bloodthirsty animals that they are. I mean, yeah, it's a political movement that supports genocide. What do you want me to say?
At UC Irvine. And Candace Owens agrees with his assessment of Jews as animals because she says wherever they go, they bring their filth with them. Another professor, Hamid Dabashi, says of Israel's, they have a vulgarity of character that is bone deep and structural to the skeletal vertebrae of its culture. These are the kind of statements Goebbels would have read and said, no notes. I mean, where are the Jewish...
Dude, he's so mad that no one's laughing at this. There's a podcast dedicated to shitting on Bill Maher. I hate Bill Maher. Dude, I gotta check that out. Hold on, let me look it up right now. I hate Bill Maher. Is it not on YouTube? It's on Spotify. Is it current? Are there new episodes? May 15th, 2024. This is episode 1. How current is this? Can I sort this? I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll follow it or something. I guess I'm not logged in. I'll just keep the tab open.
Space lasers when you need them. Now, there are absolutely horrible things said about Muslims, too. That should also be, of course, roundly condemned, like Republican Congressman Randy Fine saying, if they force us to choose, the choice between dogs and Muslims is not a difficult one. That's awful. But it's not the same as they need to be nuked. And let's exterminate them. This is
Randy Fine, I guess he's a congressman, not a senator, calls Muslims worse than dogs, right? Calls Muslims worse than dogs. That's not as bad as a Twitter user that got 3,500 views. No, not 3,500. Almost 3,500. Sorry, I gave him too much credit, too much street cred. This is a tweet that got 3,500, less than 3,500 views, is worse than a congressperson saying that Muslims are lower than dogs. And also, he did call for Gaza to be nuked. Yeah. He did call for he did call for Congress. Fucking Christ, dude. My fucking brain's dying because it's tired. He did call for Gaza to be nuked. Okay. I have 393 followers. The last post I made got 3,000 views. That's like 400 views less than the post that Bill Maher is using on his show to say that Jews, not even Jews, to say that like Israelis are being treated unfairly by leftists.
This is why Jewish people here and in Europe now say they sometimes hide their identity, afraid that the Star of David will get them attacked, as has happened in almost...
Wow, all those people carrying swastikas, hiding their swastikas, you know, afraid that swastikas might mean something to some people. Like, dude, okay, like, guys, I'm sorry, man. I don't have pity for I don't have pity for people that feel uncomfortable wearing Star of David. I don't. The sad reality is that Judaism has been conflated so much with Zionism and the genocide of Palestinians and Islamophobia in general, that the Star of David is a symbol for genocide and hatred. It really is. And if people have an issue with it, they should take it up with the Israelis that are branding Palestinian prisoners with it, that are engraving it into the land of Gaza with bulldozers. Sorry, like it's become a hate symbol. That's all I can say. It's not me that's made it a hate symbol. It's the Zionists. It's the settler colonial project of Israel that has made the Star of David a hate symbol. And guess what? If you don't want your religious symbols associated with politics, maybe they shouldn't be on the fucking flag of the country that claims to represent everyone. Like, I don't know, man, if America had a cross on its flag and then people were like wearing crosses and people were like getting side-eyed for wearing crosses, I wouldn't give a fuck. You agree that leftists could benefit from appropriating language from the UN Red Cross treaties that gave no legal basis for the existence or self-defense? I mean, are you talking about Israel? No legal basis for the existence or self-defense of by illegal settlers? Is that what your comment was? Jews only started to using the Star of David like 100. I don't even care about the history of it. It's just like right now it's a symbol of vile imperialism and genocide. I think that would appeal to centrists in the army. Illegal occupiers and colonial settlers. I mean, yeah, it should be framed in that way. And I think that leftists have done a good job of using the language of international law. It's just that we live in a world, and specifically this country, that doesn't care about international law anymore. And a large portion of Americans they've been primed by Republicans and Democrats to be against international law. Like, we live in a country of American exceptionalism, and it's that mentality that has led Israel to destabilize essentially the entire world, with Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz. So you can talk about how like it's illegal. I don't know. I don't think it's the best rhetoric right now, since I'm assuming I'm American centric, of course. I'm assuming you're American too. Maybe that's not the case, but maybe if you live in a country that cares a little bit more about international law, you could use that with your coworkers or family members or whatever. But I don't think that really lands. Like, Americans don't care. Okay, we're almost done with this Bill Maher segment.
Too many places to mention lately. Leave your Star of David at home. But the keffiyeh, you can wear that anywhere. You can wear it to Fiddler on the Roof and you'll get applause. Jew hatred isn't just acceptable now, it's cool. Celebrities love it and make it trendy. It's the new Che Guevara t-shirt. The Islamophobia
It is a pretty sick t-shirt, though. Can't deny that.
is just as bad argument is simply a false equivalency. Can you name a Jewish professor who talks about Muslims the way they get talked about?
No, because that doesn't get reported on as much as the anti-Zionist professors do, right? Like, remember when there was a rash of firings because colleges were allowing anti-Israel protests on their campuses? Okay.
No. Anti-Jewish crimes, hate crimes, now outpace anti-Muslim hate crimes 9-1. It's not a contest, and I'm certainly not saying do more of the other. I'm just saying these are the numbers, the facts, the reality.
Anti-Muslim hate crime incidents slightly decreased to 228. Anti-Jewish hate crime incidents rose in 1938. I mean, we can look this up, but I mean, it's the ADL. They include anti-Zionism as anti-Jewish hate crime incidents. So, yeah, I don't really buy these numbers at all.
There is a frothing anxiousness for the literal.
Oh, yeah, fuck, dude. Tell the fucking frothing anxiousness. That's in the job description of the team that goes and collects the semen samples from fallen IDF soldiers. Be prepared to handle frothing anxiousness.
Extermination of this one group. And Democrats, where are you? If any other minority
dude, he's so bad. He's so bad.
Group was being talked about this way, you'd break out the Kenta cloth and have 10 benefit concerts. But because you see that
ooh, that's cringe. That's a cringe thing to say.
So many of your brainwashed by TikTok constituents now have an unfavorable view of Israel. You indulge them.
You indulge them. Remember when Bill Maher said, being trans is unpopular in America. The Democrats should go with what wins elections. And and now that the tide has turned, he's like, why are you indulging voters just because it's popular? Oh my God, Bill, you're so, like, he's such a parody of himself, right? He's a total parody of himself.
You should be correcting them. You don't.
Literally just the most old man stereotypes you can think of. Why aren't you correcting them? Correct the record. Their behavior is deplorable. The youngins hate my favorite ethno state. Correct them.
Tell your woke idiots Israel isn't a colonizer or an apartheid state or committing genocide, and that if you brat.
Bro, he's so anxious. Look at the way that he's gripping his hands.
Had to spend a week anywhere in the Middle East other than Israel, you would understand what liberalism is not. All the people
would understand what liberalism is not? Bro, maybe I'm tired, but does that make no sense to you guys? Like, is my brain just like working at a slower capacity? If you spent you would understand what liberalism is not? He's saying Israel's liberal. If you spent a week in Iran, you would understand what Israel is. You would understand what Israel is not. How would you understand what Israel is not if you weren't in Israel? If you... Bro, what is going on in chat? My chat just like switched languages. Do I need to learn Spanish now? I think okay. I guess I'm learning Spanish. Remember when Scotland went bankrupt trying to colonize Central America because they couldn't stand the heat of mosquitoes? People are shaking their asses in the yachts and do. I don't understand what he's talking about. Honestly, Israel is the country I'd least want to live in. Like, okay, let's just put it this way. If Israel wasn't bombing other countries in the Middle East, I'd want to live in any other country than Israel. Because I'd probably get thrown in the gulag if I went to Israel. As like a leftist with an online anti-Zionist profile. Okay, I'm just, chat is being useless right now. You're not helping me. Like my brain is deteriorating. And you guys aren't helping me understand what Bill Maher's trying to say.
Likely running for president now on the Democratic side, want it known, they don't take money from AIPAC, the Israeli lobby, a stance which gives permission to actual anti-Semites to say, see, we're right about Israel. That's a...
Oh yeah, I forgot that this was his thing. Bill Maher's latest thing is saying that, you know, if you don't take money from Israel, that actually means... He literally says, if you don't take money from Israel, you're anti-Semitic.
dirty money from a dirty country. A stance which gives...
If you don't take money from Israel, you're anti-Semitic. He's like, you should take money from Israel so it shows all of the Nazis that, like, Israel's cool and, you know, not something to be... What the fuck, bro? This is so insane.
Permission to actual anti-Semites to say, see, we're right about Israel. That's a dirty money from a dirty country. Oh, please. You take money from crypto and factory farmers and big tech, from Diddy and Weinstein and Epstein, but AIPAC is too far? Let me just say this to all who ask me, why are you harder on the Democrats than you used to be? Until you...
He's so mad. He's so mad. Oh my God, Bill Maher's so mad. Why are you harder on the Democrats than you used to be? He's so mad.
Who ask me, why are you harder on the Democrats than you used to be? Until you fix this whole issue, stop asking me.
What's the issue? The issue of... I don't know what the issue is. Sorry, guys. Dude, he just got so mad there. Wow. And he kept saying, I want you to laugh. All right, we can close some tabs. Oh, speaking of Israel, what's this? You guys can do whatever you want, to be honest. I don't think I can last much longer tonight. So just enjoy your time while you have it.
Tara, who moved here with her parents from Texas 5 years ago.
And tell me about your two flags.
So this is a flag of the third temple, which we want to build, hopefully here on the Temple Mount.
Many people are holding the same flag. The Third Temple movement wants to demolish Al-Aqsa, the third holiest place for Muslims, and build a Jewish temple on the site. We're quickly surrounded by demonstrators.
What are they trying to do?
They want to put stickers.
And what do the stickers say?
Kahana was right.
They idolize Meir Kahana, a far-right American rabbi who moved to Israel and was convicted of multiple acts of terror. He's considered a founding father of the ultra-nationalist movement.
So what would you do to the Palestinians living here?
Here, like in the Old City, leave or
What would you do?
I think Islam is cancer, and you don't transfer cancer to another patient. That's not moral. You have to destroy cancer.
And what does destroy look like for you?
To either kill or re-educate all Muslims.
Yeah, but that one person that got almost 3,500 views, not likes, 3,500 views on Twitter, said to nuke Israel, so actually Jewish hate crimes are worse. Oh, wow. Atara, a U.S. Israeli settler who moved with her parents from Texas to settle occupied Palestinian territories, believes that Al-Aqsa Mosque should be demolished and Palestinians should be expelled. Leave or we'll kill you. Islam is cancer. You have to destroy cancer, kill or re-educate all Muslims. Yeah, and kill or re-educate. Re-educate is code for put them in camps and forget about them. And then they'll all die eventually anyway. But Bill Maher is there to prove that Islamophobia doesn't exist. No? Islamophobic hate crimes are on the downswing, and we're just bombing them all now. I wonder if Islamophobic hate crimes are actually going down, like for real.
There's maybe something small I want to get out of
Trap beans, 12 months. Damn, bro, we're growing old together.
the way before we start the content. It turns out this stream title has a bit of a double meaning.
Bro, I love Lonerbox. He's so soft-spoken, so relaxing. He's got that... Holy shit, he's got 4 guitars behind him. Oh yeah, I forgot he's a music nerd. Got like cool lighting in the background. Actually, his set does kind of suck, now that I'm looking at it. Just like a blank wall. Where's the art? Where's the pizzazz? You're supposed to be a musical, artistic guy. You just got like 4 guitars. Nothing else.
Because not more than an hour ago, I was sent some interesting information. The title was originally supposed to be going to like the UK, sending that ship called HMS Dragon over to the Middle East to deal with the Strait of Hormuz. So that's
Sorry, I'm not gonna watch this whole thing. I was just curious.
exciting. Whoa, Britain going to war over the seas. Woo! But actually, there's something else as well that I
Not gonna lie, his hair looks like... It looks like if you touched it, you'd want to wash your hands afterwards.
don't know how much I care for, but I guess it's funny. So there's this good Samaritan who decided to has been sending me kind of like sparse information for a little while, but today it's just kind of gotten a lot bigger. Well, they've given me a lot more, but where did it start? Okay, so today
Lonerbox has been doing the honeypot technique to get to get information on the Starkers. It sends him a shirtless pic from the shower. Why do you think his hair is wet? He just got out of the shower trying to send some steamy pics to his snark contact. He's using that soft-spoken voice and poised, elegant sexting style to get some insider snark information.
I got told that a bit earlier today, I got told that Sulfur, who used to be a mod in this Discord...
Bro, am I Lonerbox? I was like resting. I was resting against my hand. He does it. Am I just Lonerbox? I've got a guitar. Actually, you can't. Can you see it? I've got a guitar in the background. Am I just Lonerbox? What is going on? I'm wearing a shirt. He's wearing a shirt.
Who is no longer, was making a video about me, and that she might be making it with Queeman, maybe Tony, who's still a regular in this stream, and maybe JStock is involved somehow. But again, like I'm not exactly sure how involved each person is, other than that there's like a kind of a little collab back and forth going on with like sharing stuff and clips, and most of it just looks like a copy paste of the Beast Process article, albeit from people who are less intelligent and less coherent. But as for the Beast Process article, I probably will respond to that at some point, because as far as criticism
The fuck is he talking? Beastars? That like furry anime? Is that a YouTuber?
Go. Let's apologize, by the way. Me and that thing.
Oh my god, tell me more about your
Jewish
fucking bromance.
opinions on historical homelands and historical significance. Like that, is that not like freakishly fucking obvious? Like what the fuck? But I guess she wants to use that little timestamp to suggest that I'm so pro-Israel now.
God, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Second thoughts, like the YouTuber. But I don't know. Wait.
Oh, he's gaming too? Oh.
Shit.
Does this stream have anything relevant in it? I thought he got like a bunch of leaks. I thought he got leaks.
There's a guy
exposing the secret snarker Discord. Where's the leaks?
Who
You're doing debate reviews. Where's the leaks? You're my little sand redacted. 1,000 milligrams of Zionism. The fuck, bro? Wait, this is the leak. David, wait. D4 Vid, the musical talent that raped and murdered like a 14-year-old girl.
You can't.
He just looks at you like this.
You can't see who likes other people's tweets anymore. So I'm guessing Hasan does this when he doesn't think other people are looking. But I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Because after dodging debates with...
The leak is that Hasan liked a Twitter post. What? Where are the leaks? Is this a leak? No, that's what we just saw. Here, what's this? Hasan's debate reviews. Loner is browsing. He's still, but Anna, this is just timestamps of stuff that happened.
Fucking, she seems to not be able to understand any of it, like, or just like the way she processes information is just.
This is a debate review. Okay, I'm fucking done. This was boring. What's the comment say? They don't really follow the political streamer side of YouTube. There's a massive unhinged operation targeting multiple creators. The receipts are finally dropping. LB actually managed to get a mole. This is so fucking cringy. He got a mole. Oh my god. They've been logging absolutely everything. 20 gigabytes of data. Yeah, go through it. Oh my god. Dude, that's perfect. The H3 fans, they should go through all of that, like meticulously. Just spend the next 2 weeks of your life going through all of these Discord logs of snarker server. Like, what are we talking about right now? What are they going to be like? Pictures of? Is it even about Ethan Klein? Is it just going to be pictures of like loner box and they're like, oh look, he's ugly. He's finally ready to start sharing the data, and hopefully this is enough hard evidence for platforms to start taking real action. God. What? To do what? I've watched Loner and Hutch cover this. These goofy ghouls believe obsessively snarking and harassing people they hate will somehow manifest in leftist utopia. Do they really, or do they just not like these people? I know Destiny is a polarizing figure here, but he's been on the front lines and engaging and exposing all the prominent lunatics. Yeah. This is a great community, dude. I know Destiny's a polarizing figure, but he's great. He's really doing a lot of good work. I hope the crew looks more into Destiny and how he and they are both victims of the same actors. Okay, it's just Destiny fans. We solved the mystery. It's just Destiny fans. The fuck is this? What is this post? Why? Why is this on the homepage of the H3 Productions? Okay, guys, I gotta call it, man. I have to. Oh. I'm going to try to get Anthony to play Slay the Spire with me this week. So look for that. All right, I'm gone. I'm done. Peace out. Talk to everyone later. See ya.